So let me apologize. I'm going to raise my voice, but it's not to drown out those chanting. It's because I'm angry. My colleague, Senator Rollison, is very good in keeping his composure. I appreciate that. Me, I might lose my temper a little bit because the first question I asked in the committee of the chair was, do you even know that this week is National Crime Victims' Rights Week? She said, of course. Why? Because she's going to be reading a resolution on the floor. Well, I guess that makes it all good. The problem is this. In a week we're supposed to be sticking up for crime victims, they're introducing this garbage. They're introducing a bill that Rob just described that basically gives good time that can't be taken away even if you were to attack a prison guard. You can't lose it. Boy, there's an incentive to behave. This bill, Senator Salazar's, what it does is when you get someone that comes up for parole, they are automatically assumed to be released. We got to work backwards and basically prove why they shouldn't be released. That's absurd. Let me start with the very premise that we should be considering first and foremost what crime they committed. There's a guy that's up for parole this month that snuck up, the coward snuck up on a rookie police officer in 1988 and put 5 bullets in his head. The police officer didn't even see it coming. I guarantee the first bullet probably did the job. He emptied it, 5 bullets in his head. What kind of animal does that? What kind of animal would rape and murder a child? What kind of an animal like Dante Taylor that attacked, raped, beat, left for dead in the woods 21-year-old Sarah Good, my constituent, back in 2014. Her family, by the way, found her body about a week and a half later. What kind of person commits these crimes in the first place? Shouldn't that be the first thing we're considering, whether we let them out? Now I want to turn to some language where it says, and this is the language that was added, they're going to be assumed to be released unless the parole case record demonstrates there is a current and unreasonable risk the individual will violate the law. Unreasonable risk. What is a reasonable risk? That was the other question I asked the sponsor of the bill. Did you speak to any victims to ask them what a reasonable risk is? There is none. Any risk that they would reoffend should disqualify them. But I go back to the premise, we should start with the crime itself. But we should also give equal weight to the crime victims. What about them? Well, they address that. Oh, yay, right? They address that. They include in here. Section 5 says that we'll consider the crime victim statement. Section 6 says we're going to look at sentencing guidelines. And Section 7 says that we'll listen to the attorneys and the district attorneys and their recommendations. Sounds great, right? Oh, wait. Then they added language. The language says, in considering whether there's a current and unreasonable risk, the individual will violate the law if released, and such risk cannot be mitigated by parole supervision, the board shall not base their determination solely or primarily on any or all of the factors contained in clauses 5 through 7. So we'll listen to them so we can ignore them and move on with letting the criminals out. That is disgusting. Now, as I said, if I seem angry, that's because I spent my Sunday with Sarah Good's family and a lot of other family members because I was it was a vigil for the parents and loved ones of murdered crime victims. I will guarantee, you know who I didn't see there? Not a single Democrat lawmaker. Not a single one. In fact, these were held all over the state, and I haven't heard a single person say they saw a single Democrat lawmaker at one of these events. If that doesn't show you everything you need to see, if that doesn't show you that there's a group on one side of the aisle that is all for the criminals, and then you've got this group right here that is all for law enforcement and all for crime victims. Thank you.